Hey guys, it is Operation Thunderhead, day 19. Ugh, man. Um, Today was an interesting day because was, I, so I woke up really early. It was like 1:30 and I couldn't get back to sleep. And I was really pumped because this is the first time in a long time I had a lot of really exciting thoughts in my head just about the future, and was really like getting back to a way I had been thinking back when I was like 25, 26, before I got married, right? Um, Long story short, got married, got divorced. After the divorce, my vision became very survival oriented, and I think for the last half decade or so, it was really hard for me to pull or think out just anything longitudinally about what I want or what I felt like I needed to do for my purpose, because I always felt super unsafe after that and just really disempowered. And I was making a lot of maybe short term type of decisions where I was trying to do something because I needed money or was trying to gain power or influence. And that was something that really hurt me. And this was the first time like I woke up and I started seeing like my mind going out longitudinally. And I haven't thought like that in a long time. So that was a really, really good thing. And I was really happy about that. There was also, I think there was, I think the toughest thing as well as today is I was cruising through. So I got like a damn near perfect day. So I just need to do my video. I've done my journal. So I just need to eat dinner. And then, you know, uh, yeah, just get to bed on time and read a little bit, and then I'll have like that perfect day done. And it was really good. But one thing I realized that I was really struggling with was I was really lonely, really, really lonely. And that's something that I've struggled with, because I don't get too much personal attention. And it was funny because it was this fear, or I thought it was this loneliness. But I remember back when I was doing Operation Flying Eagle, right? And Flying Eagle was a success because I was able to find commitment and like community and like kind of meet people. And I realized like I didn't need to overextend myself is what I did. And I learned a lot about like what were the type of relationships that I wanted and what I wanted to see out of it. And I'm much more like satisfied with where I'm sitting with my relationships and how I'm reaching out to people. Versus there was this anxiety that I felt like I needed to be doing more and taking more advantage, where going to parties and hopping and meeting all these people, I realized was very unfruitful for me. And like I was the person who would rather just read a book or have a good conversation with someone and build like a really strong relationship with someone. And if we're going to go out and have experiences, but not just to kill time. And that's where I realized like I'm quite a bit different, I think, than a lot of people in that regards. But having said all that, I think another thing that was really illuminating to me was how much of a change I had made sort of just in my overall makeup. I remember before when just trying to write every day was the challenge, right? But now it's not just writing every day. Writing is that's the least of my worries, which is so cool because it's the foundation. But now it's like I have like a fitness coach, a stretching program I'm trying to apply, and I'm going to the gym. And that sounds like a lot, but in my head, it's like, no, it's fitting together. I just have to like mash the pieces and work with them together, but they need to be in the room. And then just go and I fit them there, and then, have them morph and change. And I've noticed so much of like how my makeup and the way I think operates and changes based when it's under pressure. But I've noticed when I feel under pressure, I start getting this feeling that I'm getting now. And I remember I had it back in February, not in February, but back in June and July. And, I went to this other girl, and this woman, she was amazing. She was from Montenegro. But I remember in that moment, like, I think there was this mistake because I think rather than doubling down on the tension, like I have this tendency to pull back because of the experience I'd had in my marriage. And so many times in my life, that like level of toughness and that perseverance and that noticing and seeing myself act under pressure and crisis, I'd lost a lot of faith in that. And this was something that I've realized I've started to gain back a little bit. And just seeing that, I kind of had this realization like, oh, okay, have this I do have this like resolution in myself, and this is something that I'm feeling. But in order to do that, I have to go back and apply that pressure and then trust that by doing that, I will get the results, right? I remember when I first finished The Girl and the Beast, the first and the second one, I didn't necessarily get the results that I wanted. But I remember I made so much progress was that because I was applying that pressure. And even like when I was writing a book and I was working a job, best job I ever had, where I was taking care of these kids, and I was feeling sort of the same way I did now. And before I always used to identify that with like what I was feeling or like this sense of loneliness or this pressure. And I've realized now, because of some just enough time, that there's really just this sense of inadequacy when things are working out and I'm getting what I want. And there's this sort of fear or this sense of abandonment or this feeling like, and I realize this feeling is coming from a place of self-sabotage, right? Because I've let myself down and I've had this feeling in the past because things haven't worked out. But now I'm come to a point, and I think like a big breakthrough I had, I remember having this moment when I was knocking door to door and feeling that way. And I'll never forget, I sat down because I was ahead of the team, right? But I remember I'd set my own personal goal. And so I was still going to be number one no matter what, but I knew I wasn't going to hit that goal. And this was as good a chance as I ever had to do it. And I'd had 2 days to do this, but I was just tanked. And I was feeling very dramatic. I was very lonely and all these things. And I had all these excuses running through my head. And then I'll never forget, I sat down in front of this person's lawn and I looked out of the lawn. And I'm like, 2 days from now, I'm going to look back at this moment and I'm going to decide whether or not I went for it, because this is something I knew logically. I didn't feel like I could do it, but because of what I had done and my track record, I knew that I could do it. But it was this, I knew in here that I could do it. But in my heart, I didn't feel that way at all. I was so depressed and I was so upset. And I was just like, man, there's no way. But I knew like that's my feelings tricking me. Like, I can't trust the way I'm feeling right now, but I can trust my knowledge about myself. So if I know if I knock on this person's house, they might reject me, and the next person might reject me. But I know if I knock on 4 people's houses, one of those people will say yes. Right? And I know if I do that twice, of those 1 people, one will say yes to the second line. And then I will hit my goal. And if I do that for the next day and then tomorrow, I will hit my goal. And I beat my goal because I went and I kept knocking. And I remember the next day, I felt like hell. And it was like the roughest 4 hours, right? And then I scheduled it. And I remember when I hit the goal, it didn't feel good. Like, I remember I hit it and I was like, sweet, 20. And then I found out I actually gone one over, that I hit 21. And I remember I didn't feel good about it. Then the next week happened. Then I got the paycheck. And the paycheck was like a 25% bonus. So I basically went from making $2,800 to like $4,000 because of that 3 extra. It was like, that was worth $1,800 to me at the time, or $1,200. And I remember like when I saw that, it was like, oh, this is why. And that delayed gratification, that was one of the best feelings I've ever had. Like, really just sat down inside me. And I remember that to this day, because there haven't been too many instances in my life where my extra work has paid off. I've been so disappointed in that extra work and going. But it was really cool to see it pay off. And that's given me a lot of confidence to take on other things that I actually enjoy. Because like, I hated that job. I hated doing it. But I thought and saw, oh wait, if I can do this thing that I absolutely hate, I must be able to do well with something that I enjoy. And so I guess the thing I'd like to put with you is like, think about like when things absolutely feel bad, can you trust those feelings? And what happened the last time you felt that? And what was the thing you needed to do? And like for me right now, I feel very lonely. I kind of bummed, but I know like all I need to do is I just need to keep going with my expectations and my plans. And I need to just, I won't burn out. I burn out when I lose momentum, right? And I've known that because I've stopped enough times when I felt like this to know that about myself. So now it's like, okay, I'm feeling this because now things are getting real. Now there's so much on me. Now it's like incredible. But I'm like, that's the thing about me that I love is that I know I can juggle this and I will figure it out. And that eventually I'm going to go into my groove and eventually this is going to become easy. But it's becoming just enough that it's challenging now. It's becoming just enough that I'm having to really flex myself, but it's where my feelings are not matching up with my knowledge. And I think there's sometimes it's really important to pay attention to your feelings, but I recognize this isn't going to be forever. I just have to finish this book series. And yeah, I went and I plowed through and I'm already feeling this and we're only on what, big book 4, and I've got to rewrite book 4, half of it. And then, 2 weeks from there, I've got to do book 5, and then it'll be probably, another 2 weeks. Then after that, write volume 6, then write volume 7, then 8, then 9, then 10, 11, 12, then 13. That's 7 books just out of the blue I've got to write. And then 2 more I've got to rewrite. So that feels very overwhelming. But I recognize that I'm at the point now where that foundation is being laid and the cement's going to harden. And then, I'm just going to start cruising. And I know that in myself. I know that once I hit it. Because I've done it before as well. But it's just allowing myself to push through and get through that point and not succumb to this feeling of like loneliness and tension. And so what it is, and so it's like, well, so what's the difference? Where do you know that? Because so oftentimes, like, I'll start running to other people. And I think that's been the biggest thing that I've struggled with is when I feel this way, I look to other people to help me. And it's not that I don't think other people can help me, but I recognize this feels like loneliness, but it's not loneliness, right? Loneliness is the lie I've told myself that this is to get away from the real issue. And the real issue is that I'm disappointed in the results in my life because I've been disappointed. I've worked really, really hard for some things, really, really given my all, and I've had that stuff blow up in my face. And that doubt scares me, and that's the fear. And the fear is that if I go, because I know I'm at the limit where I'm pushing myself, where now it's like I'm going to have to really start committing. Like, because after this, if it doesn't work, it's because I failed. And that's going to hurt my ego, my sense of like how smart I am. All that's going to be challenged. And I'm seeing that. And so the difference is not making it anybody else's. Like, I'm making this video, but it's recognizing I can't lean on anybody else and I've got to sit through this. And then whenever I feel this, the next thing needs to go, what's the next thing I need to do on my schedule? And that's the trigger. Whenever I start feeling this way, what's the next thing I need to do on my schedule? Because that's my way through this, right? And if I feel that way the whole time through it, it's just teaching myself again and again, how do I feel through this? And then get that. Because eventually if I do that, I'll focus on getting the results. And right now to get the results, I need to write, and then I need to follow this Boss Graham Academy thing. Then I need to draw, and then I need to go to the gym. I need to play piano, which I just got done doing. Then I need to read books. Then I need to go to sleep. And then I need to do it again and again and again until I finish that program, until I finish those books. And that's the commitment I made to myself. And because I want my life to change. And I trust that if I finish those things, my life will change. So right now, that's the microcosm. I can't get away from that. I can't ask anyone else to join for me. I can't ask anything else. I've always heard this saying, eagles meet in the air. But right now, I'm a butterfly pushing out of its chrysalis. And if anybody knows, when a butterfly is pushing out of its chrysalis, not to help it. Because it's important that there's fluid that's in its sacs and I learned this I knew this before, but I didn't know about the fluid going from the sac inside its body into the wings. And when you push that fluid in the wings, it gives it its vibrancy and its strength so that it can eventually push out of the chrysalis, but then also so that it can fly, right? So that resistance is incredibly important to the foundation for that whole butterfly's life. If that butterfly never gets that fluid out into its wings, the opportunity for it to get its wings vibrant never come, and then it dies. That's what this is for me. And I realized that's not something you can do with somebody else's help. And so many other times I've asked for people to open the chrysalis. I did it with my, this girl before. I did it with my ex-girlfriend. Like, I've done it with so many people, asking them to peel the chrysalis away, and it's always ended up killing me. And my butterfly, I've never been able to take off. And now it's like, no, I have to push out of this chrysalis, and I have to do it alone, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to fly. So if anybody else can relate to that, I'd love for you to like comment, subscribe, maybe share. And yeah, I just want you all to know that you can make it, but there are things in life where you just have to battle through them alone. And remember, you can do it. And the butterflies were born to fly. Take care, and we'll see you guys on the other time. And what can I say? Every success starts with suck, and Ryder's right.